Bojack Horseman is my favorite animated show of all time. Not Family Guy, not Rick and Morty, Bojack Horseman. And not only is it my favorite animated show of all time, it's also one of the best shows I've ever watched, period. When I started the show a couple of years back, my intent was just to try a new animated comedy along the lines of The Simpsons, South Park, or Family Guy. Then I was hit with a shocking twist. It wasn't a comedy. I mean, sure, it's incredibly funny and has amazing comedic timing, but at its core, Bojack Horseman is a dramatic show about a horse who feels more human than a lot of people I know.
Just need something to help me focus. Coffee. No. Cigarettes. No, tequila. No, I just need the right music. To do drugs to. Work it.
The show is about a former famous sitcom actor, Bojack Horseman, who is a horse as he tries to curb his depressing tendencies and make it to the limelight again. The first couple of episodes are slow as it mainly focuses on introducing us to characters like Todd, Mr. Peanut Butter, Princess Caroline, and Diane, who, as funny as they sound and look, have a great amount of layered depth, and they all have such well-written arcs within the 6 seasons of the show. Bojack Horseman, a quote-unquote animated sitcom, manages to tackle deep subject matter like depression, anxiety, asexuality, and many more in such an engaging way without reducing the weight of these subjects. It's honestly crazy how many people don't try this show out because it contains humans and animals coexisting on Earth. I think that element of the show is actually so brilliant. Will Arnett, who plays Bojack, has to be the greatest gem on the show. It blows my mind that Bojack is the closest thing to playing a dramatic role that he has ever done because he does it so well. There's a certain level of honesty and depth I get from hearing him speak that is so relatable. Bojack is one of the few characters that I can actually say I relate to rather than saying I think he might be relatable. I love his failures and mistakes. Not exactly loving them, but I just love how his failures and mistakes are emphasized on the show in order to make him look vulnerable because he is vulnerable. A lot of shows like this skip the road and just reach its destination. Bojack does the opposite. It's a character study, and so it studies its characters and it shows you their thinking process. There's an episode that literally shows you Bojack's brain, and it's just so raw, unfiltered, and relatable.
You said you wanted a job.
It doesn't matter. Nothing matters.
Wow, what happened in Malibu?
I gotta go.
Every character on this show is entertaining, and I'm not just talking about the main ones. Every character that has a reasonable amount of screen time is interesting, and that shows the testament to how brilliant and conscious the writers are of what they're doing. In 6 seasons, they've been able to make us care about a horse, an Asian female writer, overly happy dog, workaholic cat, and an incredibly chill and thoughtful guy called Todd, who also happens to be voiced by Aaron Paul and loosely based on his iconic role of Jesse Pinkman. The interactions among these characters is just so exciting, funny, sad, and sometimes depressing. The different elements of the show and how they all gel so well is what makes it a piece of art, and I honestly think it will stand the test of time. I know I made it sound like this show isn't exactly funny, but trust me, it's hilarious. The running gags on the show are just so extremely brilliant. The way it makes fun of its own world, the animals and humans living together, questions it asked throughout the 6 seasons were also really hilarious. Special characters like Mr. Peanut Butter and Todd have a way of making you crack up so much. The show contains different performances and several cameos from some of the best actors that I love, such as Rami Malek, J.K. Simmons, just to name a few. The show is sprinkled with Easter eggs from previous seasons and references different things going on, not just in our world, but also in the lives of normal people. Does that even make sense? Anyways, Bojack Horseman isn't just all about the cameos or the real subject matter. It's honestly a beautiful show to watch. The way these scenes are shot, and I know I always talk about cinematography, but then does that really make sense when you're talking about an animated show? But when you look at scenes like this, you have to consider and understand that the people making the show actually care about these things. So I don't know if I should call it cinematography, but the show looks excellent and the shots are extremely unique. I like the way the characters are designed because it gives them a level of relatability and makes them look human rather than just animals. And the human characters look on point as well. But what I'm trying to say is the show just looks really beautiful and I'm going to honestly miss this show. Bojack Horseman is funny, smart, deep, and really, really layered. I know I say deep already, but I just had to emphasize that part. The show is beautiful to watch, and you feel connected to every single person that is introduced in some way or form by the end of the 6 seasons. I feel like you might feel a bit disappointed, not because it wasn't written properly, but because the choices made by some of these characters are just so human that you can't even say it's bad. You just feel or expected more out of this fantasy world. But unfortunately for us, it's very, very realistic. So I guess that sucks. All in all, Bojack Horseman is my favorite animated show of all time. It has an amazing cast. It is funny, sad, lovable, and just so well crafted that you can't even start to understand the level of detail that goes into making this show. I feel honored to have seen it, and I hope if you're watching this video you might check it out. If you've seen it already, tell me what you think. If you like this video, like this video, and if you don't, it's cool. You can recommend more stuff for me to talk about. Anyways, thank you and goodbye.